Ever since we've taken delivery of the DJI Pocket 3 camera, we've been using it as a C camera for the occasional shots that requires gimbal moves and roving shots. We've gotten away with the hassles of balancing up and using mirrorless cameras on clunky gimbal, just for a few shots in the final video delivery. We haven't had the chance to really test out the low light noise characteristics and took this opportunity to observe the noise levels of the 1-inch sensor. We have to admit that the noise levels and characteristics of the DJI Pocket 3 looks better than our previous Sony PXWZ-90 camcorder during footage matching with A7 Mark IV, FX30, and FS5 cameras. One thing that we didn't quite like with this Pocket 3 is the amount of internal light reflections on the lens in this lighting condition. There's also this bloom and glow surrounding the bright lights, and we can guarantee you that our lens are clean and not smudged. No wide-angle attachment or any filters attached. Perhaps this is the sacrifice that we must give for the convenience at the expense of optics quality. If you have been following our previous videos on sharpness and noise reduction settings, you'll understand why we chose to keep the custom image settings at -2 on the sharpness, and -1 for noise reduction. We love this settings as the images looked more natural. Notice that the amount of shimmering and sharpening up on bright highlights are very controlled. This is our test at 4K 25p, 1/50 shutter, 4500K color temperature and ISO at 1600. Let's take a look at the same shot at ISO 3200. And this shot at ISO 6400. Observe the black level noise and artifacts. Now for a side-by-side comparison. ISO 1600 versus ISO 3200. ISO 1600 versus ISO 6400. At ISO 6400, the noise is definitely more observable, but if we are to tweak the custom image noise reduction to a higher setting, there will be more temporal compression in the skylight gradients, and the wave movements will look more patchy and heavily compressed. And here's ISO 3200 versus 6400. Our verdict and conclusion is that we'll try our best not to go beyond ISO 3200 if we can help it. ISO 6400 looks a tad too grainy and noisy for our liking. While at this settings, we quickly took the opportunity to switch to 1/25 shutter at ISO 1600 to check if there are any observable pan jitters at this shutter speed. As with our findings with the older Pocket 2 camera, we are happy to go down to 1/25 shutter speeds for that extra stop of exposure when filming at 4K 25p resolutions. Shooting at 1/25 doesn't seem to have any issues with motion and panning moves. And also to satisfy our curiosity, we decided to give the digital 2x zoom a quick test in this lighting condition. And as for this 2x digital zoom feature, we'll give it a skip and definitely not use it as the image quality is quite compromised. Maybe it's a lot better if we are to fix it in post with a digital crop when necessary.